In August 1969, the optimism of the 1960s counterculture came to a grinding halt. A string of exceptionally brutal murders in Los Angeles shattered the illusion of the peace and love generation overnight. The victims included wealthy executives, teenagers, and 26-year-old actress Sharon Tate, who was 8.5 months pregnant. These high-profile losses anchored the grim reality of the crimes in the national consciousness. These killers were runaway teenagers and young adults from middle-class homes. They acted on the remote commands of a 32-year-old man they considered a messiah. Charles Manson spent more than half of his 32 years in correctional institutions. His ability to control others grew from a specific survival toolkit, sharpened across decades of incarceration. This timeline charts Manson's life up to 1967. The shading represents the years he spent locked away. Born to a teenage mother, he was bounced between strict, abusive reformatories starting at age 13. Inside these federal penitentiaries, he developed a defense mechanism he called the insane game, convincing predators he was too unhinged to approach. Over time, his role shifted toward observation. He studied the behavior of incarcerated gang leaders and learned to exert control, eventually running a prostitution ring that required him to coerce and dominate young women. These decades of institutional trauma produced a predator capable of identifying and exploiting human insecurity with high precision. In March 1967, Manson was paroled into San Francisco just before the Summer of Love. He entered a landscape filled with naive, displaced youth looking for meaning. Manson identified these young runaways as the perfect targets for the manipulation tactics he had mastered in the penal system. He built a following by stripping away their individual identities. He used a mix of LSD, fringe Scientology auditing, and counterculture rhetoric to ensure total submission to his will. This structure prioritized Manson's ego over any communal ideal. He engineered the family to function as a controlled extension of his will, rather than an organic collective. Upon moving the family to Los Angeles, Manson pursued a career as a rock star. He viewed his followers as a commodity to trade for access to the music industry. He successfully infiltrated the Hollywood elite, befriending Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. Through Wilson, Manson met influential record producer Terry Melcher, whom he targeted for a record contract. The contract never arrived. Terry Melcher ultimately rejected him, causing a violent fracture in Manson's narcissism. To maintain control over his followers after this rejection, Manson twisted the lyrics of the Beatles' music into a prophetic doomsday narrative. He defined Helter Skelter as an imminent, apocalyptic race war. He positioned himself as the ultimate savior, the one who would lead his followers to rule over the survivors. Manson established a base at Spawn Ranch, a deteriorating movie set that he turned into a militarized, defensive compound. The paranoia escalated in July 1969 after Manson shot an associate named Bernard Crow. Manson mistakenly believed Crow was a Black Panther and that violent retaliation against the ranch was inevitable. This panic led Manson to order his followers to extort and eventually murder musician Gary Hinman. The group held Hinman hostage for 2 days before stabbing him on Manson's instruction. The Hinman murder served as a point of no return for the cult. It proved that Manson's followers were successfully conditioned to kill on his command. On the night of August 8, 1969, Manson deployed 4 followers to 10050 Cielo Drive. He targeted this location specifically because it was the former home of Terry Melcher, the producer who had rejected him. The followers murdered Sharon Tate and 4 others in a brutal attempt to ignite the Helter Skelter War. The very next night, Manson personally broke into a home to tie up supermarket executive Lino LaBianca and his wife Rosemary. He left his followers to butcher them, lashing out at a society that had denied him stardom. These massacres represented the explosive reaction of an egomaniac. Manson used the people he had programmed to attack the world that rejected him. The LAPD eventually connected these crime scenes, leading to a massive raid and the arrest of Manson and his followers at their desert hideouts. During the trial, cult members showed zero remorse and carved X's into their foreheads in solidarity with Manson, displaying the depth of their conditioning. Manson was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. He spent the rest of his life behind bars, finally secured away from the society he had terrorized. The legacy of Charles Manson serves as a warning of what systemic institutional failure can produce. His trajectory shows how a lifetime of abuse and confinement can result in a predator who turns vulnerable outcasts into lethal weapons.